Hello and welcome to BYD and Beyond. My name is Daniel Baker and this is a presentation for a claim accounting services executive. On the agenda today, we'll be looking at the purpose of bringing BYD into a claim accounting services, how BYD is utilised and its associated risks, experiences of other companies, both sides of the coin, their disadvantages and advantages, infrastructure, best practice for how BYD should be managed, the business case and sensitivity analysis, the conclusion, and we'll wrap it up with the lessons learned. The purpose of today, this is an introduction into giving us the opportunity to use BYD technology in the day-to-day operations of a claim accounting services, giving our employees and clients a whole new degree of freedom, ultimately so they can work where they want with the device they want. Organisations around the world are embracing BYD technology. It's a shift in the way employees work, moving away from the traditional methods such as fixed desktops to mobile devices. Basically, building on our current ICT structure to a structure that can meet our demands of the future. By adopting BYD, we can move our firm forward to be a market leader in this area. The implementation of upgrading our current ICT data systems to a more secure structure. Looking at some of these survey results, you can see businesses that currently don't use BYD are now considering it over the next 12 months plus, especially in the areas of tablets and cell phones / smartphones. How BYD is utilised and its associated risks. What is BYD? It's a trend of employee-owned technologies being used for both corporate and personal purposes from a single device. It can be utilised to increase productivity, increase time saving, and elimination of multiple devices. There are risks with data leakage, loss of control and visibility, and the ease of device loss. As you can see from these results, 70% of employees use personal devices within the workplace, and they currently use 6 different devices. Experience of other companies, especially in the education sector, schools and universities are adopting BYD. In Australia, local governments, especially in regional area locations, are embracing BYD, especially because of the tyranny of distance. Cisco Design and Networking Infrastructure has applications to help with BYD, such as smart solutions. As you can see from these results, desk-bound workspaces are becoming less and less. There's a shift from these areas to more mobile working stations to allow people to move around the office, use their devices when they're outside the office, and also while they're traveling. So it's allowing for more productive time in these traditional downtimes of people moving around. Looking at some of the advantages, there's increased motivation of staff, there's increased engagement of employees in the workplace with supporting online collaboration, more convenient, increased productivity, less downtime, and also for the organisation, reduced asset management issues. Some of the disadvantages. There's legal issues, security issues over data and the device, initial infrastructure costs, ownership of information and equipment at employee termination. Some of the infrastructure that need to be considered is such as hardware, looking at what kind of device you may use, such as tablets, netbooks, laptops, ebook readers, and smartphones. Also looking at the operating systems, having the choice of iOS, Android, Windows, Linux, etc. Also placing a thin client on a smartphone, which will provide suitable authentication, and it's no different to the way we're using laptops nowadays. Looking at cloud networks, the evolution of virtual private clouds, giving us the capability to access applications, files, data, so forth, through dedicated cloud servers. Also, the support that we can provide, such as remote support, help desk, systems monitoring, and looking at the software, email and calendar synchronization, internet access through our locations via Wi-Fi, and for staff that have to travel overseas using international roaming upon request. You can see here the enterprise mobility ecosystem. This is something that's constantly evolving, and it looks at a number of areas such as end users, applications, devices, connectivity, security, middleware, and of course infrastructure. Some of the best practices of how BYD should be managed. First and foremost, the implementation of a strong and defined BYD policy. This looks at a number of areas such as risk assessment, ownership of information, ownership and registration of the device, and being able to distinguish between personal and corporate data, the right to audit the devices, the privacy issues, security of business information with the ability to remote wipe devices if they're lost or compromised, conduct in-depth security training through employee training over time. Looking at the business case with the information that I've provided in the handouts, you can see that we'll pay this off in approximately 5 years with a net present value of $1.9 million, an internal rate of return of 13%, return of investment of 2.86, and profitability of 19.9%. Looking at the sensitivity analysis in case one, upgrading the best software, that will incur a doubling of software acquisition costs, and I believe this will not be a benefit. As you can see, it will take us nearly 6 years to pay the project off. It gives us a negative net present value of 10.94 million with a negative internal rate of return, return of investment, and profitability. So this proves not to be a beneficial process to the organisation. Under sensitivity and analysis 2, we're looking at subsidising the employees for taking up the BYD strategy with salary packaging arrangements, subsidising employee device purchase and services, and allowing access to corporate IT services through their existing devices. As you can see, this will take us just over 4 years to pay off, but we'll have some issues attached to it. Gives us a net present value of 4 million with a internal rate of return of 14%, return of investment of 11.43, and profitability of 39.84. The trade-off, though, is this could actually be more costly in the long run if employees don't take up the subsidy. Under sensitivity 3, we're looking at the implementation of a strong security policy, which will be far more stricter. It will give insurance premium costs reduced due to low staff replacement rate, and increased cost in staff training over the period as well. As you can see, this will take us just under 5 years to pay off. It will give us a net present value of 1.2 million with a internal rate of return of 11%, return of investment of 4.29 and profitability of 12%. So in conclusion, we need to embrace BYD, focus on policy, taking advantage of current technology and services with comprehensive research, and we need to buy wisely. We need to think about now, but also the future. The devices that are available gives us the freedom to work where we want, when we want. Also, the devices of the future will change the way society works. So my recommendations are we undertake the implementation of the introduction of BYD structure using the business case presented. The selected case has strong infrastructure, which will provide comprehensive policy structure and will provide improved productivity for the organisation. Lessons learned. BYD is transforming the way firms can work. There are improvements to productivity and reduced operating costs. Innovation is more than just technology, it's the way organisations can move with technology, moving away from traditional methods of working in the office, such as the traditional desktop, to more mobile devices. Legal issues regarding privacy between corporate and personal information ownership when staff leave the organisation. Mobility is becoming an essential element to the future of organisations. Tablets and smartphones are becoming a mainstream device of choice. The divide between personal and work devices is becoming smaller. Employees are beginning to accept the need for devices being shared between personal and work activities. There is a need to have a strong commitment from all employees on data protection and remote access to stop potential breaches. Corporate data can be secured on cloud storage environments. Thank you very much for listening today.